Hi guys, I recently got a YouTube comment that asked me how to create a half-drop repeating pattern in Canva. So I thought I would show you my process here. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, please feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. So firstly, I thought I would start by showing what a half-drop pattern is. In this pattern here, this is a full drop pattern. The repeating pattern is repeated directly across horizontally and directly below vertically in a whole drop. With a half drop pattern, the columns are half dropped so that they line up in a staggered formation. So if it was a brick pattern, it's similar, but the rows are taken halfway across. Now, one way to create a half-drop repeating pattern in Canva, if it's a simple design like this, you could simply add the element that you want and make it the size that you want. And we'll click on one of them, position to the center and the middle. Then we'll click on this one, which is the same size. We can even delete that and duplicate this one just to be certain. Bring it up into this corner until you see the pink solid line on the side and at the top. That means that's exactly a quarter of the element showing. We'll duplicate that, bring it across to this corner till those solid pink lines show up, and then do it again and again in each corner, so that when we repeat this block, these will come together to create a whole. Now, this block though is not a half drop block, so I'll just show you that in 1 second. We'll save this block, share, download, save it as a JPEG, and current page, done, download. We'll get a new page, bring the download over, and we will duplicate it. You can press Alt and drag, click and drag, and that will also duplicate the block. So I might just do that here, put them side by side. Then I'll grab all of those and duplicate them by pressing Alt and clicking and pulling down till they line up. And we'll do that again, Alt, drag it down. So there is our what appears to be a half drop pattern, but the blocks are actually full drop block. So if you want your block to be a half drop block, we will have to create a pattern which, when we drop it down half a block, the middle here lines up as well. So let's create a new, we'll duplicate this page, and we'll create a new half drop pattern where this gets moved up to the 1/4 spot, which would be about there, I believe. You can use the guidelines to find the exact spot. So I'll pull that down to the quarter line. I haven't checked it exactly, but you can check it yourself by pulling down from the ruler. You can get a guideline and you can measure against the side there where you're up to, or you can pull from the side and measure this way to get guidelines in the other direction. If you can't see the ruler, go to File, Settings, Show Rulers and Guides. So once we've got them at the quarter mark, we don't need these lines anymore. And we'll just duplicate this, pull it up to the center, and when it gets to the center you should see that thick pink line across the center there. That was to show that that was in the middle. We'll duplicate that again and bring it over to here until it's in the center. Then we'll save this, share, download, JPEG. It's set up how we had it before. Current page, done, download, and while that's downloading we'll create a new page, and we'll drag that download onto the page, and we will duplicate this block and repeat the process that we did before. Alt, click, drag, Alt, click, drag, select them all, Alt, click, drag, and Alt, click, drag. Just make sure they line up. So these blocks are currently side by side in a whole drop, but we can half drop them and the pattern remains the same. So there you go, that's probably the simplest half drop block right there. If you wanted a tighter half drop pattern that particularly suits, for example, diamond shapes, you can pack it tighter together within the square like this. Technically, I guess it's a diamond pattern. So you can either create extra columns within the square block, or even use a block that is half as wide, so that it's a much narrower block. But I like to work with square blocks. I guess this is actually just a version of the first block I showed you with the circle in the center and the quarters in the corners. I'll just show you quickly. I'll press R for rectangle and I'll drag that up into the corner, grab a quarter of this block and just make it clear in the center, give it an outline, and there you can see inside of that rectangle is the same type of shape we made at the start with the circle in the center and the quarters of the element in the corners. But filling it out like this makes it repeatable as a half drop block, because these corners will line up with this half a diamond over here, and these corners with this one over here. Or you can make it half as wide and it would still work as a half drop block. And once you save this and duplicate it, it looks like this. So these ones are actually sitting side by side in a full drop, but you can get the same pattern with the half drop. Now, if you want a more complex half drop pattern with more elements in it, my favorite way to do a half drop pattern is actually probably technically a diamond pattern or a full drop block, but the pattern appears to be a half drop pattern and is much more random looking than using a simple element or a couple of carefully laid out elements. To start the block, you have to create a diamond shape and then fill it in. Here's an example that I created earlier. I'll show you quickly how I did the diamond shape. So I'll add a new page and let's just add a line by pressing L, and we'll just stretch it out far beyond the page and rotate it 45 degrees. Then bring it across until we've reached the middle point of the page. This will be easier if we get guidelines. So let's bring in the guideline to the center and down to the center here. it should turn pink when it gets to the center. And then we'll use our 45-degree line and get it to touch those 2 points where the line meets the edge. We'll duplicate the line, spin it around the other way 45 degrees, line it up, duplicate, we'll bring that one down to here, we'll duplicate this one and bring it down to here. So there's our diamond shape, and then we'll go to elements, and I selected fruit, but let's look for flowers, and we'll go to graphics, see all, choose a flower that you like and put it anywhere in the block. We're going to fill in this diamond, and we're not going to go outside of the diamond. So I like to use the magic recommendations. We'll press see all here. This way we'll end up with similar looking flowers. And just continue to fill in the block. If you want to, you can spin. We'll move these lines now. If you want to, you can spin it. You can flip it horizontally or vertically, resize it using the corner, and then just continue until you have the whole block filled, which I'll leave that one, and we'll go up to the fruit block that I created. So once you have your diamond filled, then I've written down quickly here if you need to pause and look over it. We're going to group it together, duplicate it, line it up in the top left, and then Alt and click to duplicate it again and drag it. Then we're going to group them all together and then ungroup them, because that's the quickest way to get them all ungrouped. And then I'll show you how to adjust it once it's done. So let's start by grouping it all together. And then we'll duplicate it. We can press Alt and click on it and drag it. Get these lines to line up. And then Alt again and click, and we're going to drag it right and line it up on that side, and then Alt and drag it down, and Alt and drag it to the left, line up these lines. Now any elements that are overhanging the edge should hopefully line up, because we've lined up our diamond. Now let's group everything and ungroup it. You can also right click to ungroup, and we'll get rid of these lines, these black lines. We don't need them anymore. Trying not to select other elements at the same time. Just clicking and pressing delete. There's a few of them because we've overlapped them. Delete, delete, delete. So we'll just have a quick look at this block and see that it's all spread out how we like. And if you want to move any elements, make sure you move all of the same elements at the same time. So see this strawberry? I think it would look better if it was more taking up more of this space. So I'm going to select that strawberry, then I'm going to press Shift and select the other matching strawberry, and we're going to drag it more into that space. And I'll also bring the blueberry more into that space as well. The apple, we'll find the other bits of apple up here, Shift click, and then down here, Shift click, and we'll move them all at the same time so that they stay in matching positions. And then I think the grapes I'll bring down just a little bit to fill in that gap. So select all of the grapes, shift click, and bring it down a little. And then let's save this block. Share, download. I'm going to save it as a JPEG, and current page, done, download. We'll create a new page, and we'll drag this newly downloaded block into here. So once we repeat it, Alt click and drag, Alt click and drag, then I'm going to select all of them, Alt click and drag, and again. You can see the drop pattern that the banana is dropping, the grapes are dropped, but the blocks are actually full drop. And if you try to half drop them, it won't line up. So it's my favorite, but not technically a half drop block, but it is a half drop pattern. Although I guess if you find the diamond pattern and set it up the way we did with the diamond pattern earlier, then you could find the block that would repeat as a half block drop. Like here, where we have the two diamonds in the center and the quarter diamond in this corner, the half diamond there, another quarter diamond in that corner, and the same on this side. Let's quickly test that by downloading it. Adding a new page. We'll grab that download, and I'll just focus on that pattern, that diamond pattern we created. Duplicate it a few times. And again. And let's see if we can drop it and still keep the same pattern. Half drop, and there you go, we've kept the same pattern. So there you go. There's a few ways to make half drop patterns in Canva. I hope you liked it. Bye.